Grim Hollow Transformed is about to finish its campaign, which means if you want a massive chunk of dark horror sprinkled into your campaigns, now is the best time to get them. And it's also the best price they're gonna offer for a long while. You'll also get all them Kickstarter exclusives, and every backer pushes them further along the stretch goals, which means even more goodies in them their book-a-doos and virtual tabletops. With the D&D 1 5e 2.0 2024 mega update, some rules are shifting, and Grim Hollow is one of the first third-party settings to make that jump forward, transforming old content into an even richer and more dangerous Atharis. There's so much stuff in this world guide and player combo, I can't fit all the dark magic, monsters, and player choices into this intro minute. Lucky for you, they made a whole page for you to visit, and they gave me a link that you can click down below. I suggest you take a peek, it's a really good time. I love running around a good graveyard on Halloween, smacking skeleton skulls off their thoraxes and banishing janitor ghosts to the deepest pits of hell, but I never considered the fact that even dead people are real people, with silly little emotions and autopsy reports. Normally, a dungeon master might throw a ghost at their party and let them unravel its tragic origin. Abnormally, one of my dungeon masters is running a game for us where we've been ghosts the whole time, and it's actually pretty great. I know it's a trope that's been explored a few times before, for better or worse, like in The Sixth Sense, Jacob's Ladder, or Silent Hill, I think. But where most of these stories go the route of, he's just a normal guy in a crazy world, but when everything turns upside down, he'll have to face the fact that he got turned inside out by a bus and was isekai'd straight to hell. And then when he figures out that he died from being killed one time, the story's just over. To me, that feels like it should be the halfway point. Being dead isn't an answer, it's a hook. It's also not an apology. With this type of story, you can go down the route of a murder mystery that ends in more death, or explore some kind of Beetlejuice-esque afterlife as the players try to escape Hades, where they find themselves locking arms with Orpheus, Eurydice, and everyone they've previously killed. The Monster Manual is full of undead with varying natures, goals, and horrific demises tied to why they are the way that they are. So today I want to present some ideas to you so you could really explore the grim world of the undead. The first type of story you could run is one where everyone is ghosts, ghoulies, zomboids, and skellimans. In the campaign on Arcane Gate, we're all ghosts and only recently learned about our death. You could play with a lot of fun ghost tropey elements in a style like this, like how they'll repeat the same actions every day that they did in life without realizing it, or how they're naturally blind to certain changes in the world around them, and that purveying sense that something's a little off that a ghost is unable to shake. Once you reach that kickoff point where they realize that they're dead, the illusion shatters and they get to jump into Act 2. Instead of immediately flying up to heaven to kiss angels and drink plum wine, the party faces a lot of questions, with the most important one being, what the hell do we do now? You can have them fully figure out what happened to each character, like a little noir game in reverse. It also leads to the deeper question, why did they specifically persist as ghosts? Do they have unfinished business? Were they summoned by someone? Or was their fate so horrific that their literal soul cannot accept what happened to them? Alternatively, you could have them discern and then hunt down whoever killed them, like player character revenants of revenge. If I were to do this type of story, I think it would be awesome if the accused hired a cleric to exorcise the party as they chase him. So they gotta do like an inverted Luigi's Mansion, running around hiding from the cleric while trying to spook some asshole. The last and most magical way I see a ghost-style story playing out is finding some way to undo whatever killed them. Especially if their death was the side effect of some kind of wish spell, or some sort of actual time loop that they got trapped in and died in, or if they get their hands on some artifact of revival, the next step is going to be figuring out where the hell their bodies are. Speaking of hell, there's a whole string of lower planes that some dastardly bastardlies might find their souls shunted to after they die. Good points of inspiration here are Dante's Inferno, God of War 3, Coco, Adventure Times Together Again, Impel Down Again, Spirited Away, and Hades itself. Completely contrasting the really weak ghosts trying to Scooby-Dooby-Doo someone in, accursed souls trying to climb out of the pits of hell makes for some pretty high fantasy combat. Almost without a doubt, the party will have to fight with, argue against, or strike a deal with the rulers of the underworld. Death isn't the end of any story in D&D, especially since Revivify is only a 3rd level spell. Alright, let me crack my knuckles and give designing an actual game a go. The campaign opens up in the House of Hades, with everyone waiting in line alongside some minions of the boss that they died fighting. The line marches forward for a full month, or if the party starts running around, they get shunted forward. Hades will eventually explain that they all died and they will stay forever in the Inferno. They will not be allowed a second chance at life. The party's then allowed to run around for a hot minute, and at some point they'll meet a traveling planar hag who says that she can return them home. I doubt the party wouldn't agree, so let's say that they do. I mean, they're allowed to mull over the option for all of eternity. When they do return to the living world, it'll be as a ghost, a zombie, and a skeleton. Also, if they want, they can occupy the same space as a bone-armored spirit zombie, just cause that sounds cool. The party then has to figure out who their killer was,
Kill that guy.
where the skeleton's flesh ended up, and where the ghost's body is. Bing bang boom, the hag took the body and wants them to be her slaves for 100 years before giving them their full lives back. She also has like 200 undead servants. We cut to a big bad boss hag fight, and if the party kills her, her magic stops and they all end up in the House of Hades again. Hades will thank the party for putting an end to her undead bullshit and for bringing all those souls back, so he rewards them with a second chance at being alive. Because for Hades, a few mortals running around for 1 to 40 more years is chump change. I'd say that's pretty fun. It's a good number of side characters and choices to make. I'd personally run it if I had the time. If you like random campaign outlines, I've probably got one for every worm in my brain. And that's a lot, so I can make more.
Those aren't peanuts. That's my bowl of worms for my compost. Oh.
But I think that making death part of the adventure, or at least granting it a little adventure itself, is something that the D&D world and Spooky Month lend themselves to very well. It lets players explore either the gruesome reality of their own character's mortality at the hands of literally anything that the DM used to wipe the floor with them, or it gives them a chance to naturally explore the afterlife. Also, if it's for a larger campaign, it lets you build out how hard escaping death actually is. Like in Dragon Ball, maybe hanging out in the other world for a while isn't as bad as getting your ass whooped by Goku if you go back again. I'm gonna go piss off some ghosts and then get hit by a bus to see for myself what kind of epic afterlife lies in store for me. I'll see you in the next video if I make it back okay. In the meantime, comment below what I should wear for Halloween. There was that one year I went as Doctor Strange, and now Michaela's suggesting I should be a slutty cowboy. But I have a black morph suit that I really want to use. I might just, hide behind you all day. That'd be fun. Also, Terra Inc. reached its McFrickin' goal. Genuinely, thank you so much for supporting her project to everyone who's backed so far. You're fucking legends, and I couldn't ask for a cooler audience. Get out of here. Go find a ghost and give him a big bust.